Hey everyone, welcome back to English Echo Daily. So today we are talking about one of my absolute favorite topics, food. And not just food itself, but the whole culture around it. How English speakers talk about food, how they describe it, how they choose restaurants, how they act when they're eating out, all of it.
Yes, and food is such a perfect topic for English learners because it comes up constantly in everyday life. Whether you're at a restaurant, watching a cooking show, scrolling through social media, or just chatting with friends, food is always part of the conversation. So having the right vocabulary here is genuinely useful.
And the way people talk about food in English is so expressive and fun. There are so many words, so many idioms, so many ways to describe a meal. People get really passionate about food, like unreasonably passionate sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Food is one of those topics where people have very strong opinions. That's the best pizza I've ever had in my life. That place is completely overrated. You have to try this restaurant. People feel things deeply about food.
Let's start with how people describe food they love, because it's good is fine, but English has so many more interesting options. Delicious, the classic. Amazing, incredible, but the more casual, expressive ones are the fun ones.
To die for, meaning something is so good it's worth dying for. Dramatic, but very common. That tiramisu was absolutely to die for. Mouth-watering, makes your mouth water just thinking about it. The pictures of that dish are mouth-watering. Finger-licking good, so good you want to lick your fingers. That one's a bit informal, but very expressive.
Out of this world, extraordinarily good. That curry was out of this world. I've never tasted anything like it. Heavenly, divine, like something from heaven. This cheesecake is heavenly. And addictive, a food so good you can't stop eating it. These chips are so addictive, I've already had 3 portions.
And on the negative side, because not every meal is amazing. Bland, no flavor, boring. This soup is so bland, it tastes like nothing. Greasy, too much oil or fat. The food was really greasy. I felt terrible afterward. Soggy, unpleasantly soft and wet, usually something that should be crispy. The fries were soggy, worst thing about the meal.
Overcooked and undercooked, pretty self-explanatory, but very useful at a restaurant. And overrated, something that has a great reputation but doesn't live up to it. Telling someone a famous restaurant is overrated is a bold social move, by the way. People defend their favorite places.
Yes. I can't believe you think that place is overrated. It's incredible. People take restaurant recommendations and opinions very personally. Let's talk about restaurant vocabulary because there's a whole set of phrases and words that come up specifically in that context.
Make a reservation to book a table in advance. Do I need a reservation or can I just walk in? Walk in means arriving without a reservation and hoping there's a table available. Some places are walk in only, others require reservations weeks in advance.
Seated means when the host or hostess shows you to your table. Right this way, you'll be seated by the window. Specials, dishes that aren't on the regular menu, usually seasonal or limited. Can you tell me what the specials are tonight? Asking about the specials is a very standard restaurant move.
On the menu versus off the menu. Off the menu means something not listed, but that the kitchen might make if you ask. And the chef's recommendation or house specialty, the dish the restaurant is most known for or proudest of, usually worth ordering.
When it comes to ordering, there's a lot of useful vocabulary. I'll have the is the standard way to order, not I want. That can sound a little abrupt. I'll have the pasta, please, is smooth and polite. What does this come with? Asking what side dishes or extras are included. Can I substitute the fries for a salad? Asking to swap one thing for another.
Dietary restrictions, things you can't or don't eat for health, ethical, or religious reasons. Do you have anything vegetarian? Is this dish gluten-free? I'm allergic to nuts. Is there anything in this dish with nuts? These are very important phrases, and any good restaurant will take them seriously.
And food preferences. There's so much vocabulary here. Vegan, no animal products at all. Vegetarian, no meat, but may eat dairy and eggs. Pescatarian, no meat but eats fish. Flexitarian, mostly plant-based but occasionally eats meat. These terms are everywhere now and very important to know.
Let's talk about the social side of eating out, because going to a restaurant in English-speaking culture is a whole social experience with its own norms and vocabulary.
Let's grab a bite, a very casual way to suggest eating together, not a formal dinner, just getting some food. Want to grab a bite after work? Grab is interesting. It implies something quick and casual. Grab lunch, grab coffee, grab a drink. All casual, spontaneous feeling invitations.
Treat, when one person pays for everyone. It's my treat tonight means I'm paying, don't worry about it. Very generous phrase. And go Dutch, which we mentioned in our money episode, everyone pays for themselves. Should we just go Dutch?
Doggy bag, asking to take your leftovers home. Can I get a doggy bag for this? The name is funny. Originally, the joke was that you were taking it home for your dog, but of course, people take it for themselves. In some cultures, this is totally normal. In others, it's seen as slightly embarrassing. In America, it's completely standard.
The check in American English, the bill in British English, asking for it is universal. Can we get the check, please? And tipping, oh, tipping culture. This is such an important cultural topic, especially for anyone visiting the United States.
Tipping in the US is not optional in the way it might be in other countries. It's essentially expected, and the standard amount has gone up over the years. 15% used to be standard, now 20% is more common, and some people tip 25 or even more for excellent service. Not tipping or tipping very little is considered quite rude.
And the vocabulary around tipping, gratuity is the formal word for tip. Sometimes you'll see gratuity included on a bill, which means the tip has already been added. You don't need to add more. Service charge is similar, always worth checking so you don't double tip.
Let's switch gears a little and talk about food trends, because this is such a big part of how people talk about food in everyday English right now. Food trends spread incredibly fast on social media and become part of the cultural conversation.
Foodie, someone who is really passionate about food, enjoys trying new restaurants, follows food trends. Being called a foodie is generally a compliment. She's such a foodie, she always knows the best new places.
Instagrammable, food or a restaurant that looks so beautiful or interesting that it's worth photographing for social media. This has genuinely influenced how restaurants present their food. The presentation was gorgeous, very Instagrammable. Some restaurants are famous just for how photogenic their dishes are.
Farm to table, a philosophy where restaurants source their ingredients directly from local farms, emphasizing freshness and sustainability. Very trendy in recent years. Plant-based, made without animal products, but this term is used more broadly than vegan and has a more positive, health-focused connotation.
Comfort food, my personal favorite term. Food that makes you feel emotionally good, usually warm, hearty, and nostalgic. Mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, a bowl of ramen. Comfort food is different for everyone, but the concept is universal. I had a rough day. I just need some comfort food.
Guilty pleasure, applied to food. Something you love eating but feel you probably shouldn't, usually because it's unhealthy. My guilty pleasure is fast food fries at midnight. Everyone has one.
And cheat day, a day when someone who usually eats healthily allows themselves to eat whatever they want. It's my cheat day. I'm getting a burger and I don't feel bad about it. Very common in fitness and diet culture vocabulary.
Let's do a quick section on cooking vocabulary, because people talk about cooking at home a lot too, and there are some really useful phrases.
Whip something up, to make something quickly and easily. I'll just whip up some pasta. Implies it's effortless. Throw something together, similar, improvising a meal with whatever you have. I didn't plan dinner, I just threw something together with what was in the fridge.
Recipe fail, when you try to cook something and it goes wrong. A very relatable concept. People post their recipe fails online and everyone loves them because cooking doesn't always go perfectly. I tried to make croissants and it was a complete recipe fail.
Secret ingredient, something special added to a recipe that makes it exceptional.
often kept private. My grandmother's sauce has a secret ingredient. She never told anyone what it was. Very charming concept.
And leftovers, food remaining after a meal that you save for later. I made too much pasta. We're having leftovers tomorrow. Leftovers are a whole lifestyle for a lot of people, cooking big batches on the weekend and eating from them all week. Meal prep is the term for that planned approach to cooking in advance.
Okay, as we wrap up, let's just appreciate for a second how central food is to human connection. Sharing a meal is one of the most universal ways people bond. Breaking bread with someone, an old expression meaning to share a meal together, implies friendship and trust. Food brings people together in a way that very few other things do.
And in the context of learning English, talking about food is one of the most accessible, enjoyable, low-pressure ways to practice. You can talk about what you ate, what you want to try, what you love, what you hate. Everyone has opinions. Everyone has experiences. It's the perfect conversation topic.
Next time someone asks you, have you tried any good restaurants lately? You are ready. You've got the vocabulary, you've got the phrases, you've got the cultural context. Go talk about food with confidence.
Thanks so much for listening today, everyone. We'll be back soon with another episode of English Echo Daily. Until then, eat well, speak well, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Go treat yourself to something delicious. You deserve it.
Bye.